bless you.
Shane Van Boening is going to break.
5 out of 7 now that the Americans have won the ladder. Saw last match going hill-hill and anticipate a lot more of those. Shane giving a thorough inspection of the rack. I don't think you'll see Shane backing off the break at all.
Well, we didn't have to see much of Shane yesterday. Only in five on five, yeah.
He commented that was the first thing he said on the ride back. I got to shoot one shot. Now he's got a 1-2 combination that appears it does go, but it's tight.
Well, I got to make sure the 2-ball goes past the 4.
And you got to say that the guys, these two are decent favorite in this match. Even though this young lady does play well for the Russian team. Race to 5-9 ball playing Scotch doubles.
Yeah, she does.
Certainly win.
Actually, she's one of the best female players in Europe, despite her almost junior age. Yeah. She were playing juniors only last year.
Okay. Couldn't hold the cue ball though.
Looks as though he had no intention to actually.
Well, maybe not. Yeah. I think he did. I think he just wanted. He tried to make sure he got the draw on the ball to hold position, and he kind of got away from him. And if he doesn't have an edge of this, he's got a tough kick. Super tough. He may have to use his extension right here. Now Shane is one of the best you'll ever find at edging the ball. I mean, him and Earl are probably the two best I've ever seen at it.
Yeah, that's an interesting observation, Jeremy.
Incredible at edging the ball. Oh, great shot. And that's a lot of knowledge there. A lot of people wouldn't even try that because they're so afraid of going off the back of the 4 and scratching. But you'll see how far he cut the 1 backwards.
He used the 4, and you could have seen like the top spin. The top spin grabbed so much, and just it helped to stop the cue ball.
Well, that was the thin hit on the 1, though. So he went into the rail very quickly. So any thicker on that 1, he would have slid off the 4 and probably scratched in the corner.
Extension call.
So it looks like both teams have used their extensions right now.
And this is a jump shot just for safety, I believe, bringing the cue ball back behind the 9-7 most likely, taking a chance at fluking the 1 somewhere. Oh, he kicked into the rail, jump kicked into the rail.
Rail first play, and he left it on.
So Skyler a little jumpy on his first opening shot on that combination. So we'll see if he can get the speed under control a little bit. And that's kind of on that new felt, the ball will hook. It's almost like coming out of the pocket. You have to come out a little smoother on those shots, a little cleaner. Or else anytime the cue ball goes into the rail so quickly.
Probably longer follow through?
Well, just a little lighter actually. Makes it roll out. It doesn't, we call it hydraulic. It kind of has a lot of high spin on it. Shane, even though elevated, he'll just kind of ease this in. And I'll tell you a guy who's, I think, improved. Is that hard to say? Shane Van Boening improving? A lot of people would say that's hard to say.
You never stop to learn in cue sports, actually.
No. A lot of sports are like that. Stationary object sports are the type of game you really never perfect. That being like pool or golf.
Do you play golf yourself, by the way?
If you want to call it that, yeah.
Yeah, as far as I know, the majority of American pool players, they like golf because these sports have many things like
similar,
yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of creative mind games.
And even in terms of technique.
Right. And now to a 1-0 lead here in our second match of day 2. second match?
Yeah,
Second
yeah.
match of day 2.
Still a long way to go today. 3 more matches.
Yeah, we'll be followed up with a singles match with Shane McMahon against Konstantin Stepanov.
And actually, it is Billy Thorpe finishing the day versus Maxim Dudenets. So we see Billy in the background here. Obviously, he prefers not to wear his playing jersey when he is not in the business.
Okay, now
No, guys.
Ruslan really changing positions.
Yeah, that's true. Shane Van Boening is not using a Predator Revo shaft. That's the latest Q-Tech.
Yeah,
It is carbon is
oh my!
like again. You
Look
see
at the 9 ball.
Ruslan's
Watch the 9 ball.
Ruslan's
it's
great
gonna
just
fall.
once again. Does it make it like a 4 out of 5 recent breaks?
Well,
maybe like-
with dry breaks as well. But the thing is, when you keep switching, it's hard to get dialed in one spot. So a lot of guys inspect the rack and really play the game according to the rack. But I've told players beforehand, if you get dialed in from one spot, don't worry, you're going to make balls because you're going to consistently hit them well. So you'll see Shane attacking on a combination here early.
Oh, pretty lucky Team Russia here with a 9 ball dropping as well.
That's right. If it would have hung, it would have been a much easier combination on the 2-9. But one with ball in hand, if he's shooting it, he's a high percentage to make it. And he doesn't have to. He really could run out here with ball in hand pretty easily. I'm surprised he is actually shooting it because the 3 to the 4 is easy, and the 5 is there. So he's going to draw back behind them balls, though. He's going to draw back behind the. Yeah, I would look at the run out. I'll tell you that. The 4 is not tied up, so, but he'll definitely draw the cue ball back behind the 8-2-7, I believe, anyways.
Oh, he feels probably he's got a sure safety.
Yeah, but there is no sure safety in today's game. Now the one's over the pocket of the jump cue.
Kept it pretty safe.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got several questions about the pocket size here. I think that's just a regular diamond table, probably 4 and 3.
3/8.
3/4 maybe. Or
No, it's not that big. No, they're not that big.
3/8.
4.5 is standard. Yeah.
Maybe I think it's 4.5 then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
They're playing a hair softer just because of the slick felt and the lights.
Yeah, that's true. Nice kick from Christina.
And that's what happens. Now she's left a difficult situation for the Americans. I'm a little shocked that Shane didn't look a little bit more at the run out. I know he saw that 4 ball initially with the 6, but you could see the 3 on the side rail dropping to the low rail was not difficult. And our captain Johan reminding these guys and the team that not to take anything for granted in some of these matches, which I don't think they are. But.
That's very important, yeah, just to keep it in mind.
And it's more about when you talk about professional sports, especially when it comes to pool or golf or sports like that, it becomes more about how you're playing. You get more involved on what you're doing. Okay, I'm wondering if Ruslan will tell her to use the 8 ball to hold position on the 3. Looks like he's going to tell her to come out to the middle of the table, which is nothing wrong with that.
You are going to see pretty much kind of coaching here from Ruslan to Christina because they practice together a lot, and at some point he was even giving her some advice in terms of play, so just kind of a tutor and a pupil.
Looks like he's got a swerve around this 5 at touch, Michael.
Yeah, looks like so.
Yeah. Oh, he's gone to a jump cue. Wow. I'm surprised he's not crossing this over and playing safe. I'm not sure if he can go forward jumping this ball, and you have to go forward to get position on the 4 ball. So interesting play here, in my opinion. Yeah, you see the cue ball kind of wasn't really going towards the 4 much at all. A little bit, but
Well, I think he had less than half a ball to come
To go
over,
over,
the
yeah.
over, yeah.
Yeah, he almost shot it with his regular cue with a slight masse, so obviously wasn't much. Now we'll see if Shane, I think he has enough, a nice angle to check this up with a little left coming to the short side. But you can see how the ball hooks a little bit. This might work out.
Yeah, looks like Shane was satisfied with the outcome.
Yeah, I don't think he can reach this though to attack, so he's going to have to play safe. I don't think he can. I don't think he should take any chances here. Just lay the 4 on the side rail.
Just freeze the cue ball to the 6.
Yeah, like so.
Well, failed to do this.
Yeah, but that's good enough. Should be okay. Yeah, freezing it to the 6 would have been better. Just cutting off the bottom rail. But I'll tell you, if she can kick long rail here with the 6 and 9 the way they are, if you hit rail first or a piece of the ball, overcut the 4 a little bit, there's a lot of ways to get saved because the cue ball will be dropping below the 6 somehow, one way or another. Like here, watch where the cue ball's going.
That's an excellent
Great shot.
attempt, yeah. Well, she has been very thorough with any aspect of the game and kicking as well recently.
All right, this is a tough shot because getting all the way out, you see how the cue ball kind of hugs a little bit, so it's very hard to come down table with the top English on a full hit. So the guys will have to learn they have to actually hit the ball lighter to make it go further. That way you don't get the cue ball kind of, like I said before, hydraulicking off the rail a little bit. It's a difficult thing.
It might sound confusing, but that's the way it is actually.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing to get a hold of, but it's. Oh wow, nice shot. Oh wow, how unlucky is that?
Well, the cue ball control is perfect, but
Yeah.
they are unlucky on this shot. Just kind of misjudgment.
Well, she can't. She had to concentrate on the cue ball fully.
Yeah.
So, this is the type of kick I like to slow roll, especially with the 8 there. You can get the cue ball on the 7 in a lot of funny places, and you can make it. A lot of people kick it this hard, which I think makes the kick a little more difficult to hit. Wow. Wow.
How good is that?
That's amazing. That's 2 incredibly bad rolls back
Yeah.
to back.
How often do you see that?
Wow, that was amazing. Oh, she kept her composure pretty well considering.
Almost broken into tears
Yeah,
actually
right.
here because it's so unlucky in this rack.
Well, I'm sure she's pretty mature beyond her years. I'm sure she'll recompose and.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, that shot on the 6 just shows how many aspects of the game are involved in any shot actually. Had she noticed the path of the 6, probably she could have applied some kind of side just to correct this one.
Right.
And just not to drive it towards the side pocket.
Yeah, and I think maybe the new felt, she may not have realized. She probably did have a little side spin on it. See, and she expected it to spread a little bit more before the side pocket.
That's correct, yeah.
So I think it was more the new felt took a little bit different path.
Than
for
misjudgment,
yeah, exactly. Which in time will be judgment because you get, she's going to probably win many titles and play on many TV-like kind of tables, so she'll get used to that.
Ruslan came up with an excellent attempt once again on the 7, but got very unlucky.
Now Skyler in his singles match yesterday was very successful on the break. Okay, lost the cue ball to the bottom rail, but there's a lot of area now. The 2's going to get over the side. So a little bit of a tester, and Michael had already commented how difficult the side pockets are on diamond tables. I'm not sure if the 2 goes in the corner or not. If the 2 goes in the corner, you never know. You may see him take on the corner, but I think the side is okay. Nice shot. Nice shot.
Oh, speaking of the break, on current USA squad has the best break part of SVD, a part of Shane and Boening.
Well, yeah, that's one thing about the Americans as a whole. There's a few different techniques out there with the Americans, but Oscar breaks the balls really great. We saw Billy and Tyler both. A lot of the team comments on how well Tyler breaks the balls. Corey can break the balls many different ways, which is unique to him. So I think as a whole, you might say the most inconsistent breaker.
Easy yourself, yeah.
Well, maybe
kidding.
Johan when it comes to that, but no, maybe Shane McMahon is probably our good friend of mine too. But just being honest about it, is probably the one that lacks a little bit of power at times.
He's got plenty of time, so it's good to know you have some elements to work on.
Oh yeah, no, and don't get me wrong, he breaks the balls pretty well, but that's just how well the rest of the team breaks the ball. So.
Yeah, I see your point. Yeah.
That's a little thick.
Undercut this.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And that's that one slid in a little bit.
Oh, for the moment, I wasn't sure it even goes into the corner.
Right. I thought it was actually thick into the rail. So Team America stretching their lead to 3-0. And a great break by Skyler, even though he lost the cue ball a little bit, but the nice opening shot by Shane Van Boening on the 2-ball, dropping down for the 3, and then kind of made the rack look pretty easy. A little bit out of line on the 8. It was hit a little thickly, but so all the pressure now on Team Russia, trying to get their first point here in day 2.
Yeah, and it's especially important, I think, for Christina.
Well, she should
being involved actually for the first time.
Well, she shouldn't be too worried. She's played well so far. I mean, she with her opportunities. So, and I watched her play at the Kremlin Cup too. She was pretty steady over there as well.
And there was a very surprising result. She had a whitewash in her in the losers bracket, and everyone was surprised. How come? And I asked her actually this question, and she replied that it happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't get anything going, and
right. Well, 10 ball's a funny game like that too. Sometimes the layouts, even though the tables are open, the balls, if you could replace one ball with the other, it makes the layout so much easier. So if the racks are kind of sitting against you in 10 ball, sometimes it can appear that you really got outplayed without hardly winning a game.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
So is she dry on the break?
No, she made
Fortunately not. So many times in 9 ball and 10 ball possibly not so much. The last ball moving drops.
Oh, absolutely.
Your last hope.
Yeah, you got to pay attention the entire time. That's for sure. Okay, a nice shot on the 1 there. Oh wow!
But it's going to
held
stay.
Up. I thought he hit it well.
Yeah, he did, but he actually overcut it.
Right. But still overcutting it at that speed, if it catches the pocket, you figure it to go.
The ball hit the wrong part of the pocket.
I guess so. Now this is going to be delicate coming down the table, that's for sure. Rail first is very delicate also, so I'll be surprised if he plays rail first here. If he does, this is another one you got to kind of smooth it out.
With these shots, a rail first just give you more room for error.
Yeah, but see how it hooks right there. You see how it hooks. You have to come out smoother, just like we talked about before.
I think he hit it very high on the rail, actually.
Yeah, well, he caught the one a little. He caught the one a decently as far as like one of the outer tables. But with the new felt, the rail first is very touchy. During the replay, if you could see the ball hook, it kind of hooked along that bottom rail.
Extension called.
Okay, he should kick 2 rails and kick the 2 towards the 9 and let the cue ball come up table. SVB is telling him to try and hit the 2 full and knock the 2 up table, but I think he should kick 2 rails and send the 2 at the 9, not trying to make the 9. Oh, that's a nice shot there. That's beautiful play.
Yeah, even managed to hide the cue ball.
Yeah, and that was very intended. A lot of control. So we've already seen one incredible kick shot by this young lady. We'll see if she can come with another one. Another thing, when you kick like this, there's so many good ways because you almost always have congestion by the spot, meaning the 4-8, the 3-9. So after the cue ball catches the 2, it's going to continue to come downward towards this bottom rail.
Well, I think here she's a good favorite to hit the ball, to make contact, and
Right. So this
she's
is
not
like
trying to make it actually.
Yeah, she's trying to make it, but I'm saying if you don't, you have a good chance of getting some separation and possibly a snooker. Now this double kiss isn't going to do well. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, she's friends with April Larson.
Mm.
Yeah.
April just finishing 3rd in a
Yeah,
women's pro event.
they got acquainted during the Junior Worlds, I believe.
SVB is going to put him behind the 9 here, where you got to be.
Yeah,
you
you're
gotta
kind of
do
in
well.
jail here.
Mm-hmm. Some guys, though, you've left a jump shot, believe it or not.
I don't think the 2-rail kick is on.
With the 7 being there?
Yeah.
Well, he would like to hit underneath this 2 ball and send the 2 back up table, but the problem with that is going all the way up and down the table, you have to have enough speed to get a rail.
Hey, maybe applying some left would help.
Yeah, oh, he's going inside the 2.
That's nice contact.
Yeah, and he had to really put a lot of speed on it.
That's an excellent shot. We mentioned April Larson finishing 3rd at the WPBA, and it was Alison Fisher winning once again. That's incredible. She's a legend and still capable of winning.
Yeah, well, play as solid as she does. I mean, just her game is so simply good, you know. She's going to be able to play at that level for a long. She has already played for a long time, but.
What's your take on women competing with men? How come they just are not strong enough? Like there are some examples of Karin Kor winning some events, and I think Yasmin Oshan of Austria is very well capable just competing with men. But in general, overall.
Well, I think there's at times a little bit of a power issue, but I think today's ladies are learning to play the game a lot more athletically.
Yeah.
Meaning, the best ladies I see these days, like Gai Young Kim and a few of the Asian ladies, they play very much like the man as far as using the stroke to move the ball and do things rather than so technically, aiming so much.
And they run out.
Right, and how do I explain it? It's more of a natural stroke moving the ball rather than, let me be so technical.
Well, actually, I was asking the similar question to many people, and one of the best replies I received was by, I think, Anna Majirina, another former Russian pro. She said that, the 9 is down. Anna said that probably women lack some kind of a killer instinct, you know.
Yeah, the aggressiveness.
Men are born to be hunters, like they chase the goal, and just women are not like that.
Right.
They don't see the final goal, or just don't know how to do it. So it's more mental.
Absolutely, yeah. It's changing your mind. Like a lot of times, I watch ladies win tournaments. Not at a pro level necessarily, but ladies that are pretty good. They try to win playing safe instead of trying to get down and make the ball to win. Trying to take it away from their opponent more or less, rather than kind of keying on their opponent making mistakes for the win. So, and that's normally what my reply in that question I've had a lot of times is it's more the aggressive side of things. Now quickly out to a 4-0 lead here in our second match on day 2. U.S. On the brink of taking their first lead here in the DreamChallenge 2018. And a nice opening shot on the 1. I think he can get down table on the 2. Now he's got a small area to get there, but can he go around the 4, Michael?
I'm not so sure about this one.
It's close.
The position zone is pretty tight here on the
Well,
2.
I'm wondering if he can cue this with low left and get around that 4,
Oh, get around the 4
ball.
well, just
It's tight, though. I think he can. I think there's more room there. Yeah, Efren would go right around that 4 ball. Now the 3 might be a problem.
well, to me, it looks like it's very hard to avoid contact with the 4, but
Well,
probably some low left English
yeah,
can help
throw
you.
the ball,
Just
what he's going to do is just tell him to get down and... Okay, I guess he tried to maybe get around the 4.
now another safety, just to try to bring the cue ball towards the 9.
Yeah, this is difficult, though, from distance on a slick table. If you're trying to bank this ball back up with English and hold the ball behind the 8, or maybe even use the 8. May even use the 8 right here. But watch, it'll slide out on you. See how it slides out?
Nice call, Jeremy. Once again, they just used another object ball to stop the cue ball, control it.
Yeah, and he did well. It looks like he snookered him.
Another one rail kick if you want.
Yeah, and the 1 railers on any table are the toughest as far as if the ball's out in the space, especially on a slick table.
Well, that's a kind of a natural path for the cue ball.
Yeah, but the problem is the ball doesn't act natural. It will bend. So my advice on these types of kicks on slick tables is you control the bend, meaning aim a little shorter and spin into it, or aim a little longer and draw into it, to where you control the bend of the ball. A lot of people, especially in the Mosconi Cup of the past couple of years, I watched a lot of ball and hands given up because they try to kick with a natural one, like they're on an outer table that's got a little bit of worn cloth, and then you can't predict the bend of the cue ball so much. Much better off coming a little short and spinning into it, or like Ruslan did right there, going a little long and drawing into it to where you're in control of what happens.
Yeah, that's very interesting, and this is where experience comes into play.
Oh yeah, bumps and bruises. Made a lot of those mistakes myself.
Well, you are one of the most experienced American players out there in terms of Mosconi Cup.
Oh, yeah.
I think you were victorious 5 times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And luckily you managed to avoid the times of Johan Rusing captaining the Team Europe.
yeah. Well, I wish I was on there to help, believe it or not, but didn't play a whole lot of pool at that time, so. But Mosconi Cup was truly the greatest events I ever played in, and I've had some big wins individually, but nothing as great as the Mosconi Cup.
Well, individually you are a world championship runner-up.
Yeah.
Back in Spain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my roommate beat me. I was rooming with Nick Varner that week when he beat me. All right, they've gotten pretty straight here, so I'm not sure he can pound this in and open the 7-9.
And just drop back.
And play a 7-8 combination.
Or just drop another safety on Team Russia.
Yeah, maybe so. Okay, could bump it. Wow, that's nice control there.
Well, that's perfect. The precision size was less than an inch.
Yeah, and also not to go any more forward with the cue ball, not just to hit the 9, but not to get snookered. Also, if you go any more forward with it, you go behind the 9.
So it looks like we got the first whitewash
Yeah.
of the DreamChallenge.
And some great play by the Americans, but
Team
some
USA
unfortunate rolls
for 3
for the Russians.
and 10 minutes break.